Okay, well, welcome back to the summit. Let's welcome Michael Thorne. He's with Remax Little Oak up in Vancouver, Canada, right?
Just outside Vancouver, yeah, 35 minutes east of Vancouver.
That's awesome. So you represent Canada well. We've got, I think, 5 or 6 speakers from Canada.
Awesome. I mean, that's what you've always said, that you're very, very Canadian friendly. I love that. Good, Mario. Thank you.
Very Canadian friendly, so that's cool. So, well, thanks, Michael, for being here. So like we talked about, just like we're having a cup of coffee, you're going to give me 3 tips on how to help my business, and then I'll ask questions or kind of interject. I do have a bonus question at the end.
Perfect.
Yeah, very.
Don't tell me.
Yeah, so very easy, so I'll let you know at the end.
Awesome. So, Mario, when you asked me about sort of 3 tips to give agents, obviously you're going to have a ton. I mean, this is amazing to have all these different points of view that you're going to have and opportunities. So opportunities continue to change in this business. I think the opportunity in 2016, 2017, one of the big opportunities is in social marketing. I think there's no doubt that anyone watching this understands that the world is extremely noisy. So there's a lot of noise on social and everywhere. There's a lot of noise, and the hard thing for agents to do is to find a way to cut through that noise to stop the consumer and then to have their attention, because we cannot market to someone until we have their attention, right? Until we have their eyes and their ears, there's no point. So we have to get their eyes and their ears some way. So social marketing is such a huge opportunity, being Facebook dark posts, YouTube pre-roll ads, now Instagram. And why it's so powerful is those platforms know the consumer, know their age, their location, their preferences. There's so much information that these platforms have about the user that then you're able to tailor the message to that particular person, and then it cuts through the noise and the conversion rate goes through the roof. And I think truly Facebook dark posts are not only the best opportunity for agents to market, it is probably also the most affordable way for agents to market in 2016. And I'm surprised how little really smart Facebook dark posts programs or platforms or whatever you want to call it, efforts being put out there by industries in general, but especially for the real estate agent.
Yeah, so I've heard this term before. So I use Facebook and I do some advertising, and the one thing I always want to clarify, it's not boosting a post.
Yeah.
It's using the ads manager, and that way you create going to your website or going to a post, and then you can build a demographic. So I'm familiar with that. I think a lot of us are, but talk a little bit about the dark post.
Sure. So, I had an agent from a couple towns over here come in. We had a lunch yesterday, and we were starting talking about Facebook dark posts, and his jaw hits the floor when you really understand the opportunity that it has. So for the years previous to now, we went out on our business pages and we tried to create content to create fans so that we could market to them. And I'm a firm believer, and we'll get to point number 2, but I'm a firm believer that Facebook business pages about real estate will never work organically. They just will not work organically, because the consumer is interested in what you have to say for a very short period of time. After they've purchased a home, they don't interact with your page anymore. It affects your edge rank. Facebook starts to punish you, and therefore you don't get any reach. So I don't think real estate pages will ever work. However, the game has changed completely with the ability now to dark post. And so what you're doing is you're creating advertisements that aren't ads on the side of Facebook. What you're doing is you're creating stories inside the news feed to anyone you want, whether they're a fan of your page or not. And where the huge difference, Mario, goes from being a boosted post to a dark post is a dark post never ends up on your Facebook page, right? So you're never going to put the story on your Facebook page. And what this allows you to do is to run one dark post for men in a certain age on mobile, men in a certain age on desktop, women on a certain age on mobile, women for a certain age on desktop, and not those 4 posts show up on your Facebook page and annoy people. So the opportunity now to become more specific to the reader, to tell a story that they're interested in, is the huge thing. So let's dissect, for an instance, a bus bench ad. A bus bench ad says Michael Thorne, Remax Little Oak, a phone number, and maybe a website. And the reason why that has that information is because it's not meant for any particular person. It's meant for everybody. But what happened if that bus bench ad said, good morning, Mario. Hope you have a great drive to work. Did you enjoy the Raiders game last night? If that's what it said, and everyone named Mario who liked the Raiders read that, all of a sudden that bus bench ad means a whole lot more to that one particular person than to the general public. And so what the opportunity really is, for example, is you create a video, because I'm huge on video. We'll get to that too. You create a video about a piece of property. The video doesn't change. The video is the video, or the landing page is the landing page, but the ad changes. So let's say this particular property has an amazing kitchen, You can advertise a photo of that kitchen that links to that video directed to women who describe themselves as foodies. But that particular home also has an amazing shop, garage in the back, right? Like a really cool car shop. You can advertise that same video, but with an image of a car up on jacks, some guy working on an old vintage car, to men who are into restoring cars. And so you could run 10, 20 different ads of the same property, all tailored to the consumer at a cost that returns, leads and inquiries at pennies. And so the value of dark posting is to find out what's unique about the property, and then find out who would find those things unique and market straight to them. And you can get as isolated as a little 1 mile radius, certain zip codes, interest, age, engaged to be married. You could write a whole post about, you're engaged to be married and you're looking for a new, the opportunities are absolutely endless.
Yeah, the one thing I like about what you're talking about is that you're kind of creating a story to match that buyer or seller. And as we know, storytelling and marketing right now is what connects. And I think you talked about in the very beginning, people have all this noise. It's like, what's going to stop their cursor?
Yeah, absolutely. And you got to remember too as well is this is advertising, storytelling. It's much more storytelling advertising in their newsfeed, amongst posts from their friends and their colleagues and their mom. It's not on the side. You are telling a story within their newsfeed, and there's an expectation that also has to bring value. If you're not bringing value to the consumer in the way that you advertise in 2016, you're in a whole lot of trouble, because we're immune to traditional advertising. We're absolutely numb to traditional advertising. But if you can bring value, if you can speak to their interest, if you can get them to stop scrolling, whether that's Twitter or Instagram or Facebook, then you have the ability to win. And we do the same thing with our YouTube pre-roll ads. Pre-roll ads are those 5 seconds that you're forced to watch the video before you get to watch the video you want to watch. Well, we put out monthly market reports. And in the first 5 seconds, you hear me say, hey, my North Langley, that's the area I work in, and we have a Facebook page called My North Langley. We'll get into that. Hey, my North Langley, it's Michael Thorne of Remax Little Oak Realty, and here's your market update for December 2015. Or your North Langley market. They're forced to hear that. But we only run that ad if you're sitting at a computer in North Langley, you're over the age of 25, and you're about to watch a video about real estate. So it goes from being an ad to adding value. And so there's no way someone doesn't convert at an enormous rate when they're living in the community, about to watch a video about real estate, and I'm saying, hey, I know what you're about to do, and I've got the information for you. The opportunity is magical. And our YouTube pre-roll ads are converting a CMA at $1.75 a CMA.
Wow.
And so these opportunities, am I missing some of the market because I'm not going a bit wide? No, you're right, probably am. But I'm interested in going deep. And you have to, in 2016, in the way we market, wide will not, everyone else is doing wide. Wide won't work. and you need to be able to go deep. And so social marketing is like no other opportunity. I've been at this for 23 years. It's a game changer.
So I guess the one question I have is, how did you learn how to do the dark posts? Is there like a resource, or is it pretty intuitive within Facebook?
Yeah, it's gotten really, really, really easy since September 2015. These people are going to watch this over a period of time. Prior to 2015, it was very, very difficult. Now, when you go into the ads manager, you can either choose to use a pre-existing ad or to create an ad, and it really just walks you through it. I mean, it's very, very, very easy now. And in fact, as of about a month ago, you can say, do you want this ad to run on Instagram? Because Facebook now owns Instagram. So it's right in there. So you can say, look, I don't want it to show up as an ad. I only want it on mobile. So you can split test, A/B test images, A/B test calls to action. Listen, if the consumer for that property is under the age of 40, put more money on the mobile experience. If the consumer's over 45, put more ad money on the desktop experience. I mean, the reality is we know so much about the consumer now. And so we get to really be creative, and it doesn't cost you more money to run one ad to everybody than to run 7 ads for 7 different segments. You're paying per view. So you might as well make that view resonate with a person consuming the content. And so there's no better opportunity. It's also, and if people are Googling it to find out how to do it, it's very simple now. It's also officially known as an unpublished post, and the sort of street terminology is dark post.
Okay, cool. So the one thing I like about what you're saying here is, and I want to get this point across, is that, the type of advertising you're talking about through social, you're adding value to your target audience. Content marketing. Not once have you said, I'm Michael Thorne, I'm $1 million producer, give me a call. Those days are gone.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely gone. And I can't believe we're still having this conversation. The reality is we need to, in our soul, acknowledge what marketing works for us and what doesn't work for us. And as an industry, if we are annoyed that the phone rings during dinner and it's a salesperson, or we're annoyed that the door knock comes Sunday afternoon while you're watching your favorite football team, then we as an industry then can't pick up the phone and call people while they're having a dinner and show up on their doorstep Sunday and ask for business. It doesn't work like that anymore. And if you're holding on to the 65-year-old market, and we've talked about this, I believe, before when I was on your podcast, Mario. Old people don't read the newspaper. It's people of a certain generation that read the newspaper. I am not going to turn 65 and all of a sudden put down the iPad and pick up the newspaper because I'm now old. I fundamentally interact in the world in a different way. So we have to acknowledge that the way we consume content, the way that we market to people, has fundamentally changed, and it's not like I'm going to pick up the newspaper and read a sales pitch from the local jewelry store and trust it. If we realize how often we Google something prior to us purchasing it, and we're looking for those Google results to provide value, then we have to acknowledge, and that's what the real estate consumer is doing when we're talking about a $500,000 piece of property. They are going to do the research, and if you're the one that's able to provide them value, you'll win. If you're just, I'm number one, which still exists in 2016, it's your days are numbered.
Okay.
In my opinion.
Well, I'm in agreement with you,
Okay.
so thank you. Okay, well, that's a great tip.
Awesome. So tip number two. Tip number two, I think really what this comes down to, and it speaks to my philosophy about adding value and whatnot. I think the opportunity that agents have to find a way to become larger than the real estate transaction. This is absolutely key going forward. And it can be done in so many different ways. So what I mean by that is we have to provide the value that sort of captures the buyer at the zero moment of truth before they're ever really ready to purchase. So we've built a social hub in our community. We are the social mayors of our community. We are the straw that stirs the drink for all the community to connect. On Facebook, on YouTube, we become larger than the transaction. We're the ones that lets everyone know about charity events or about elementary school fundraisers or anything like that. And in that process, we build know, like, and trust. People have already decided to use our team 3 years before they're ready to buy or sell. And when they're ready to buy or sell, they use us. Mobile Agent TV, our web show about real estate, for real estate agents, is a very similar thing. We've tried to find a way to become larger than the referral network of just having my name in a brochure. We've tried to bring value to other agents, exactly the same thing you're doing, Mario. If you're able to bring value to agents in a very authentic, sincere, caring way, in return, they feel obligated in their soul to reciprocate the value that you've added to them. And so there's a couple caveats to that. You're a prime example of this. If what you were doing for these agents right now wasn't something you truly had a passion for or you didn't believe in, everyone watching this video right now would see right through it. That's where we are in 2015. We understand. So you have to authentically care about whatever you choose to become larger than the transaction about. So becoming larger than the real estate transaction could be just that, explaining every point of this transaction. This is what it's like to buy in this community. Here's what we have to be aware about. This area has wells. Here's the 10 things that you need to know about wells. It could be real estate focused, but I'm just saying it's larger than the listing contract, larger than the purchase and sale contract. There's so much opportunities to blog about the experiences that we have, to share what it's like to buy and sell homes, to share about the value of the community. And the amazing part about all this is it works like nothing else because we've been doing it for 5 years. But it's something that Nobu Hata said, and it's one of the greatest quotes, is give your clients something they can't Google. And in the States, we don't have it in Canada, the Zillow issues, the Trillia issues, the Realtor.com issues, they will never, ever produce the larger than the real estate transaction content. They're never going to stand in front of the local elementary school and explain that this elementary school has an immersion or has an art program. They're never going to bring you that content. They're never going to tell you about the festivals and the parades and the fundraisers and the traditions of the neighborhood. They will never bring you that value. So you have an opportunity, and believe me, the consumer wants to know what are the school districts, where are the lines, what catchment areas are there, where are the parks, where are the coffee shops like. That is the huge opportunity.
So you kind of touched on it earlier when you were talking about Facebook, and I agree with everything you're saying. So you made the good point about the Facebook business page, no longer being effective. Nobody reads it, no interaction. So what you're talking about right now, this is what you do with your Facebook group, right?
Well, yeah, it's a page, but it's become a very group-like atmosphere. We control it like a website. It's public facing. Anyone can go see it. Facebook.com/mynorthlangley. And the shocking result of what we do on that page, Mario, is that the average business page has a reach of 2 to 6%, meaning only 2 to 6% of your fans see the page. Yeah. Right? We have per post, we have a reach of right around 100%, usually more than 100%. The average interaction on a page that has less than 10,000 fans is 0.94% interaction, engagement, meaning they liked, commented on, or shared a post in a 7-day period. We regularly have an engagement rate of around 120%. In the math, it's the equivalent of having 1.32 million fans on our page. Well, there's not 1.32 million people that live in my community. There's more like 30,000, and we happen to have 10% of them, right? But the reality is, the reason why it works so well is the content that we're bringing to them, they care about, right? It's like the advertising. You care that you're $1 million producer. You care that you're number one in your neighborhood, and your consumer doesn't. So if your page is about you being number one, it's just noise to people. No one cares about you. I had this tongue-in-cheek thing that I did at my keynote that I did in 2014, where I got on the beginning and I said that the audience can choose their own adventure. So I've got 1,000 realtors in a room, and I said you can choose your own adventure. One presentation is oh my goodness, Michael Thorne is amazing, where I talk about myself for 45 minutes, and I'm going to wow you about how amazing I am. And at the end of the conference, you're going to go home thinking, wow, Michael Thorne is so amazing. And then down the road, you might have someone that I can refer you to, and then you'll think of me. Or you can do the keynote where I'm going to tell you everything that we've learned about how social media works and where the huge opportunities for real estate agents are in 2014. By show of hands, who wants to hear which one? Well, guess what? They wanted to hear the story that improved their lives, right? So it's no different with your consumer. If you're not providing value, if you're talking about you, if you're talking about how buying a house from you benefits them or yourself, it will never, ever work. So we flip the tables. What do people care about? They care about their streets, their coffee shops, their local businesses, their kids' elementary school, the parks, and we just bring them that content. And here's the amazing part. Now that we've built it, people bring us content all the time. Hey, can you share this? Hey, can you share this? So we get someone send us an email the other day about a Christmas market happening at an elementary school. All proceeds go to fund a camping trip in the summer for the grade 7 class, right? If the only people that see that I posted that information out are the mom and the dads of the kids that are going to go on the camping trip, I'm a superhero, because it's something they care about. It's their children I am helping. And so when we're able to bring value to what's in what they care about, then you have no choice but to reciprocate. You have no choice but to reciprocate. And that's human nature. That's in our DNA. And so I think community pages are a huge home run. The caveat for anyone watching is there's one, maybe two opportunities per 30,000 person neighborhood for it to be done. And once it's done, you're out of luck. And so that's great for agents. If you can corner the market and eliminate the competition, anyone can put an ad in the newspaper, anyone can write Facebook dark posts, but only one person can be the mayor of their community, their social mayor of their community. That's pretty powerful stuff. Pretty powerful stuff.
Yeah, and I've seen your Facebook page, the My North Langley, and I think it is really good. And I think people need to understand what Michael's doing. It is a Facebook page. It's like a community page, but he does have it private branded. He's got all his information there, but he's sharing just everything like he's saying, everything about the community, all the issues, and you're getting interaction, which is hard to get on Facebook.
Yeah, and more than interaction, it's my wife doesn't go shopping with me anymore. She will not go to the grocery store with me because we put a lot of video on the page, and she doesn't want to stop to everyone and talk. But once a month, we put our market updates out there. We talk about the local market really quick, fast-paced, 3 minutes, talk about stories that might affect your property value, and just remind people that I'm an agent. And that's all you need to do is remind them. You don't have to stuff it down their throats. Remind them that you're an agent. But the power is amazing. The problem is you can't write a check to do it. You can't write $20,000 check and have the community I built. Did it cost me anything to build it? No. It cost a lot of time, a lot of passion, a lot of effort. But that's where, too, as well, the opportunities exist, is it can't be purchased. My competition can't come along and out-care the community. I'm already 4 years ahead caring than you are. So I think that really gives you this marketing immunity, this immunity to competition in your marketplace. When you've done something that they can't do, I think the opportunity is phenomenal. We continue to do it, and there's just so much ROI on it. It's been a really awesome thing to do.
Yeah, and just a quick point here. It took you time to build it. It didn't happen overnight.
Yeah, it didn't happen overnight. Although the success of it has blown us away. I mean, we started out not knowing. There was no other. I hadn't seen it done before. We sort of just said, what if, my buddy and I, and it took off pretty quick. And it was a lot of effort at the beginning, creating the content, but now the content just comes to us. People take a picture of a sunset. They send it to us. Hey, share this on the page. People find something happening. They ask questions. People ask questions all the time. Where can I get this fixed? Where can I go for this? We just crowdsource every imaginable question. So it's been pretty exciting.
Yeah, and it fits in with like what you said, be bigger than the transaction. So you have this page, and it's just not all real estate.
Absolutely.
It's community focus.
Absolutely. Yeah. without a doubt.
Okay, great. Well, that's a good tip.
Number three, and it probably ties into the previous two, is video. I mean, you're sitting here watching video right now. You're watching this, and you fundamentally feel, I don't know how many minutes we are into this, Mario. You feel something, the viewer right now, I'm talking to the viewer now, you feel something about who I am. You like who I am, you're engaged, you connect with who I am, or you don't, right? But that doesn't relate in any other format than through video. It doesn't relate through a blog post, a tweet, a text message, an email. It doesn't relate. Video is such an enormous opportunity, and all the stats are clear. 403% more inquiries on listings that have videos. 72% more likely to list it with an agent that has videos. 66% of executives would rather watch video than read. All the stats are that we are going video, and those videos can be put out in so many different ways, shared in such a broad way. The opportunities with video now, especially when we're all walking around with a studio in our pocket, the opportunities are like no other. 4 years ago, we did 30 videos in 30 days of our 30 favorite places in North Langley that tied in not only business, what we do, video, our My North Langley page, all that sort of stuff. We put those out, and that's being duplicated time and time again by other agents. A lot of agents have duplicated it this year. And
so quick question.
Yeah.
So where did you put those 30 videos?
Well, initially, we put those 30 videos, we released one every day on the Facebook page, natively uploading, and hopefully someone native upload everything, which means if you have the ability to put something on a platform versus sending a link to the platform, always natively share your content. We put those on Facebook. They exist on YouTube now, and they're really bad, Mario. I mean, really, really bad. And we had like 30,000 views in total over that month. But it was just me standing outside the business, holding up so my buddy Tyler had the camera, and just 45 seconds. Here's a great park, here's a great restaurant, here's our favorite, whatever it is, and we just released those.
So, and I saw, sorry to interrupt, but I saw some of your videos.
Yeah.
And I think they accomplish what you want to do. But the big point I want to get across here is when you put them on YouTube, when you put them on Facebook, how much money did it cost you?
No, zero. And it's even greater than this because it's being duplicated by a lot of different agents, and I'm happy, thrilled that people duplicated it. Honored that they duplicated it. They've all done it better than I did it. I mean, they've gone into now interviewing the owner of the business and editing it all together. Now they're 2.5 minutes long, and they're all great. But here's the magical thing about marketing in 2015, 2016, whenever you're watching this, is every business has an audience. Like the local muffler shop has an audience. Facebook or on Twitter or on Instagram, every grocery store, every coffee shop, every business has an audience. And when you show up to one of your local businesses, your local charity, your local whatever, and you shoot a little 30-second video, 2-minute video about them, as simple as it can be, because ours were bad 4 years ago. Our videos have gotten way better because I've learned so much. And you highlight their business, the first thing they do is share it to everyone in their audience. So we can talk about boosting videos on YouTube or on Facebook, but the number one way you're going to reach someone is through whomever you shine the light on. If you can stop shining the light on yourself and shine the light on somebody else, they're thrilled that you did that, and they share it to their audience. So when the local coffee shop shares your video, doesn't it almost seem to the consumer or to the person that likes that coffee shop's business page that coffee shop that they already have a relationship with is vouching for you as a professional? You know, when they share your content, aren't they saying, we know Mario and we think he's a good guy? Like, whether they are or not, the perception is if they're willing to share your content and support what you've done for them, they're vouching for you. So we didn't really see that as the opportunity. We do see that now. And everyone that has done these 30 videos in 30 days, or a couple people did it in this summer to like ram it down our throats. They did it 31 videos in 31 days, and they think that they're way better than we are. We're seeing people do it right now, 12 days of Christmas. We're seeing people count down 25 videos like an advent calendar. There's a lot of agents doing it right now. Is every single person that has done it, every single person that has done it is being blown away by the results, the impact, and the sharing of those videos, even though they've heard time and time again that they will be blown away by it. They're all blown away. Every single one of the people that I've seen do it, video, be it BombBomb, be it one-on-one like this, be it webinars, be it listing videos, there is no more powerful medium that you can use than video, and you got to find a way to do it. And it doesn't default, once again, larger than a real estate transaction. I'm rambling here, Mario. It doesn't default to listing videos and open houses. Anytime realtors see new technology, Periscope, the first thing I saw at Periscope, I'm like, here comes the new listing open house Periscope. Add value. Find some way to add some value. I'm not saying don't do listing videos because I think you should, but you have so much more knowledge than the product that you have a for sale sign in front of. You have so much more value to give. So find ways to do that. So, ties into becoming larger than a transaction, but 30 and 30 is something we're going to duplicate in a more creative way. in April, we've already got the groundwork put together, which will be our 5th anniversary on Minor Finally. But we're going to do it again in a different way and more exciting. And we're all in on video, all in on it.
Yeah. So those of you that are watching, next time you're on Facebook, kind of look for the BombBomb ad. Michael mentioned BombBomb. So you'll see a guy holding his smartphone right here, and it's Michael.
Yeah,
so I call him Mr. BombBomb. It was pretty funny because I was emailing him. Michael's busy. He's traveling, doing stuff like we're all busy. So I emailed him, I think at night. In the morning I wake up, I'm having my coffee. It's like 7 o'clock my time. I get an email from Michael, and he had done a BombBomb video to me in the morning. Say, hey, Mario, I'm at my son's hockey practice here, 5:30 in the morning, and sorry I didn't get back to you, and here he is, sending me a video email, and it was like, it was really cool.
Yeah, we do it. I'm not good at the written word. One of the reasons why I lean towards video opposed to the blog post is I'm never going to be good at the written word. So sending that, Mario, to you not only was more impactful, it was quicker and less stressful for me than to try to spell everything right. Okay, how do I spell Mario again? I don't have to say it. I don't have to worry about it. Video in all its forms. And BombBomb is, I get accused of being on the payroll. I certainly am not. Landing pages, all of our Facebook dark posting that we do sends you to some sort of deliverable through BombBomb. Our landing pages, our autoresponders, our CMAs, our coming soon campaigns, all those things that we do in our dark posts that actually add a ton of value are all automated through BombBomb. It's such an amazing opportunity for agents to do it, and video is phenomenal. And I don't know, is Lee Brown in this series? You have Lee in this series?
No.
But you've interviewed Lee before. The reason why people don't do video is not because they don't know it. They're not sure if it'll work or not. I think every agent understands video is a game changer. Why they do video is because of themselves. They're uncomfortable, they're nervous, they don't think they look good on camera. And Lee Brown says something that's so sweet, and she says it in her southern accent, which sort of diffuses how insulting it is. She just says, honey, if you're ugly on video, you're going to be ugly in person. They're going to meet you eventually. Get over it. And that's the reality of all this. Once we can get out of our heads, once again, the consumer doesn't care about you. They care about themselves. So don't worry about, your hang-ups. I do BombBomb videos with my baseball cap on, with my kids screaming. I don't care. I'm a real person. And I think, too, authenticity and being real in everything that we do means more now than it ever did before. So let people see the real side of you. And look, if you want to be happy in this business, be you, and you will attract people like you, and you will repel people that aren't like you. And that is fantastic for your business and for your happiness, because we're working with people that aren't ever going to see your value or fight personality-wise with you all the time. Don't do it. Life's too short.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a huge believer in that. I mean, it's a law of attraction. We attract who wants to be with us.
Yeah.
And like you said, it makes our job so much more enjoyable. So that's really awesome advice there.
Perfect. Now, I think those are my 3 tips, and now I'm sitting back waiting for my mag thumper question that's coming my way.
Yeah.
Ready for it.
No, those are 3 good tips. Michael, I'm glad you're going through this. So this is really easy. So here we are. We're doing the summit. It's 2016.
Yep.
I just want you to look back last year and share with us an accomplishment, a goal, something that you achieved, or you kind of, pumped your fist. It could be personal. It could be business, but something you're excited about, because I think it's important for all of us to look back and be proud of what we did, and don't forget that as we move forward.
Yeah, it's been a 3-year process for me, and the chips really fell into place probably in this year, 2015. Looking back on it, 2016, is the value of balance, and it's extremely hard to achieve balance, but you will be more productive when you're balanced. You'll be happier when you're balanced. And it is this weird thing. I mean, I was talking to an agent yesterday about relationships and the difficulty of having a relationship and being in the real estate industry. I was an agent at 19 years old. I met my wife when she was 18. She's known no different. It's not like I had a regular job and she had to get used to it. But the opportunities that being an agent provides you personally are amazing. I mean, I don't miss my kids' Christmas recitals. I don't miss their hockey games. But then there are some challenges with our demands at night. And I have realized and I just said it about authenticity and being real, I think more and more the consumer cares about your why. I think they want to know that you have a purpose. And it wasn't on one of my tips, but Simon Sinek's book, Start With Why, is an absolutely must read for anyone building a business, especially in the real estate business. But when you can sprinkle your why over everything that you do, and so, you know what, when I send out the bomb and I'm at my kid's hockey game, that fundamentally changes the attitude of the person consuming that content. He's a dad. He's got other things in his life. And I think we want to support those businesses. Anyone who knows what Tom's Shoes is, you buy a pair of Tom's Shoes and they send a pair of shoes off to Africa for a kid that can't afford shoes. That's a business that was built around a why. And everyone who wears one of their Tom's Shoes understands that they're paying more for the shoes, but they want to support something that's worthy. So we're allowed to expose our balance. We're allowed to say no. We're allowed to say you don't get my Sunday evenings that I normally have dinner with my family. And that, I think, in the 90s would cost you business. I think in 2016 it will get you business. I think people care about who you are. So if there was one thing I was proud of, and I ramble a little bit, is 23 years into it, Mario, 23 years, I'm starting to get some sense of balance. That's how long it takes. But it is a process, and it's worth trying to figure out.
Well, that's good. I mean, and I think we're all striving to get there, how we balance our lives. And so I'm happy to hear that you're finding that.
Yeah. Thanks, Mario.
Well, thanks again for being here. This was awesome. I love your energy.
Thanks, man.
I love your passion. You're the Gary Vaynerchuk of real estate.
Oh my goodness gracious! Well, I'll that's funny. I'm wearing a Gary V shirt right now. Legacy is greater than currency.
Yeah.
And I'm a big Gary fan. I've been fortunate enough to be on his web show a couple of times.
Yeah, I've seen that.
But there's a smart dude that has that. Oh, that's a huge compliment, Mario. Look, I'm blushing.
Yeah, well,
I appreciate that.
I know Gary. I know you. You're Gary without the cussing.
My mom would be so proud.
Well, thanks for being here.
Thanks, Mario. I appreciate it, man.